So we were given 5 minutes to make a difference. So I'm going to challenge that a little bit, and I'm going to do my best, but there's so many important things that I want to say. But first I'm going to start by introducing myself. My name is Linnea. I come from the Kwakwaka'wakw Nation on my father's side and the Nisga'a and Tsimshian nations on my mother's side on the northwest coast of BC. And my cultural name is Maladi, which means to be pulled in a direction on your way to your destination. And I believe it's with that power that I'm here today.
Gwegwe, bojo indigenous, mata indigenous cause, makondo dem, o yatang zi donjba, nimiki wikwe dong, and dayan. My name is Matthew Bombardier. I am from Wawyatong Zibi, but I currently reside in Thunder Bay, and I'm from the Bear Clan. I am one of the Hope Council members with We Matter, and I'm going to let Linnea start us off.
So We Matter is a nationally registered nonprofit Indigenous youth-led mental health organization. And something that we do is create resources and materials for community. And it all stemmed from the beginning of Tunche and Kelvin Redvers, who are our co-founders, who actually come from Hay River, Northwest Territories, to create this mental health organization in response to some of the mental health crises they were seeing in their communities. And it started with a simple idea, the We Matter campaign. The We Matter campaign is a collection of videos in an online library with positive messages to youth across Canada. A reminder to them that they're never alone, that there's always a way forward, and that there are people there with them who are experiencing some of the same things that they are. Of course, being a video campaign, one of the first barriers that we experienced was the lack of internet connectivity in some of these more rural communities, which arguably might need those resources the most. And so in response to that, we created a USB that has all of our videos, all of our art, and all of the stories that are available on our website that you can actually just plug into your computer and watch them. And the second thing we did was we created some actual resources we could send to communities, because one of the things that Indigenous youth say that they need the most is that continued communication, that relationship. And something that they desire is to have people who come into their communities and stay, where a lot of times these mental health organizations or counselors or support workers or teachers come and they stay for a year and then they leave. And so this was one of the ways that we can foster that relationship building within the community. Another barrier that we experienced was the email accessibility, where some people do have the email accessibility, but they don't know how to use it, or it's not very community-based, so they don't use it. They'd rather use Facebook, or they don't have access to it, so they only use it once a week. And so we started trying to use our Facebook more, and hit another barrier with Facebook, where Facebook doesn't allow you to be the person to message out. If you have a business page, the person has to message you first. So we've been working towards figuring out a way that we can still fulfill our mandate and still do that relationship building and be there for those Indigenous youth. And we've tried a lot of things, and we are really enjoying some of the conversations that are happening today that reflect those needs, as well as starting new conversations and things to think about. And something that's really resonated with me here today is that idea that it starts with community first. And while a lot of these presentations have been really informative, they're missing that aspect of connection, not internet connection, but connection with one another. And Something that happened earlier was that during a conversation, I asked, how are you ensuring that all Indigenous youth voices are heard and not just one group of Indigenous voices talking on behalf of everyone? And I wasn't given an answer. And respectfully, but also frankly, that dynamic has to change. And this is true in mental health as well, where Indigenous youth are not given a seat at the table. They're not in control of what they need, and they know better than anyone else. And something that we've started to do to create that relationship building and community understanding is we first started a Hope Council, a national youth council of Indigenous youth specific to We Matter, as well as we are starting an on-the-ground regional volunteer network, which are just 2 small ideas that can be implemented, I think, in any kind of business. And so I'll pass it on to Matthew.
So I get to wear 2 hats. I get to be one of the regional volunteers with We Matter, as well as a Hope Council member. So my role in the Hope Council is I, along with many other awesome Indigenous youth, get to review and revise and kind of get a quick glance at what we're going to be sending out to the youth around the country. So we get to see and kind of share and create content. With the regional volunteer aspect, one of our important values for all of our peoples is that sense of interconnectedness with one another. And I know personally, when I was going through my hard times, I did not like to reach out to these big fancy organizations and these big, mental health people that can give me help. I reached out to my peers and to my colleagues. And so as a regional volunteer, I remain in my community and I do the reach out to my own friends and to my own family and to my own people in that area or wherever I am staying. So what I do is I reach out to high schools, I reach out to community members, I reach out to community organizations and kind of get the conversation going about We Matter and bring it back, and I share the information. So it's kind of a diffusion on the ground, and also I introduce the internet aspect as well.
I think that I touched a little bit on everything I wanted to talk about, but I also want to turn your eyes forward so that we can play a video so you have a greater sense of what We Matter is. And then we're going to do an exercise to decolonize this day and get up on our feet. So if you are tired of sitting around, I have a treat for you. And if you were hoping to sit around some more, I have a treat for you. So watch the video.
To all the youth going through a hard time,
remember that whenever things feel hopeless,
there's always a way forward. Get help if you need it.
we believe in you.
I matter, you matter, we matter.
And so I hope you guys all feel good after watching that video, and you can have a small understanding of what it means and how important our organization is to be able to communicate with these communities. But now, to give you an even greater sense of that importance, I'm going to have you do an exercise so that you can feel what it feels like to connect with another person and to have that sense of community. And so I'm going to lead you in saying our slogan. So I'm going to point at myself and I'm going to say, I matter. And I'm going to point at you and you're going to say, I matter. And when I point at you, I'm going to say, you matter. And you're going to point back at me, and so on. But when we say the last part, which is we matter, I want you to, everybody stand up. I want you to fist pump. I want you to high five with the person next to you or do one of these, but whatever it is, this is going to be an interactive thing. So is everyone ready? Okay. I matter.
I matter.
You matter.
You matter.
We all matter. Thank you.
Thank you. That was excellent. Thank you.